Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Please be seated. The next witness is Dr. Shauna O'Brien.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and then there was a movement by the parties, prosecution to admit 4A through 4P. Is that right?
Yes, Judge.
And there's no objection?
There is no objection on behalf of Mr. Zaleski.
No objection on behalf of Mr. Hernandez.
All right, so 4 through 4P are admitted into evidence, and you may call your witness.
Thank you. People call Dr. Bryan. And Your Honor, request permission to publish when we get to that exhibit for testimony.
Is there any restrictions regarding the images being streamed? Or?
Unfortunately, the juries are going to have to see this.
Okay, thank you.
Good approach to be sworn in by the court.
Good morning, Dr. Bryan.
Good morning.
Stay standing, raise your right hand, I'll get you sworn in. Do you swear from the testimony you're going to provide us the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, it is.
All right, thank you. Please be seated and then tell us your name.
My name is Shauna O'Brien.
All right, your witness.
Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
Can you tell us how you're currently employed?
I am the Deputy Chief Medical Examiner for Oakland County
And how long have you been a medical examiner?
for 6 years.
Okay. And do you have a medical degree?
Yes, I do.
And you have enhanced medical training after your basic medical degree? And I don't mean basic as basic, because it's not, but after graduating medical school, you also had more training.
Yes.
And have you had specialized training as a pathologist?
Yes, I have.
And have you testified in criminal cases before?
Yes, I have.
A part of your duties as a medical examiner to document what you've seen in reports?
Yes, it is.
Is part of your duties as a medical examiner to photograph the injuries that you see so that they can be documented through photographs?
Yes.
And as a medical examiner, are you to determine a manner of death?
Yes, I am.
And can you tell the jury, when you determine a manner of death, what does that mean?
The manner of death means how the death came to be about.
And define that. What does that mean?
Well, there's only 5 manners. So one would be homicide at the hands of another person. Suicide, your own hand. Natural, any form of natural disease like cancer, for example, heart disease. And then there's accident, which is unintentional, like a car accident. And then undetermined, when we can't assign or we don't know.
Okay. And do you also determine a cause of death?
Yes.
And tell us what a cause of death is.
The cause of death is the initial injury or disease that leads to death.
Okay. And there's all different types of causes of death.
Yes.
Okay. You could have drowning as a cause of death.
Yes.
You could have a stab wound.
Yes.
You could have a gunshot.
Yes, of course.
And those things you document in your autopsy report.
I do.
Do you have an autopsy report that corresponds to this case?
Yes, I do.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as People's Exhibit number 4. It's an autopsy report for Hussein Murray, case number 246922, with the date of death of October 11th, 2024, and the date of your autopsy is October 12th, 2024. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
And that has your signature at the end?
Yes.
And there's attached diagram at the end of that?
Yes,
And also a toxicology report?
that's correct.
And those are all done in the ordinary course of your duties?
Yes, they are.
And when you do a toxicology, what is the toxicology report?
Toxicology, we usually take fluid from the eye, blood, and then sometimes urine, and sometimes gastric, but usually we'll send blood out for toxicology studies, which will test for any alcohols, drugs of abuse, certain prescription medications, things like that.
And that's a standard thing you do as part of autopsies?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, if it wasn't in the record, I'd move People's Exhibit number 4 into evidence.
All right, it's in.
And I have no objection to its admission.
Doctor, I want to direct you specifically back to your autopsy on October 12th of 2024. Do you recall conducting the autopsy on Mr. Murray?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm going to show you what's been marked as People's Exhibit number 4A. It's going to show up on your screen close by. these exhibits we've already agreed to enter, so I'm not going to ask you all the questions that otherwise I would. You understand?
Yes, I do.
I forgot something. Have you been qualified as an expert before the courts of the state of Michigan?
Yes, I have.
And how many times have you testified as an expert before?
Around 15.
Okay. And had you actually testified as an expert in this case itself in district court?
Yes, I have.
Your Honor, the people would move Dr. Bryan as an expert in forensic pathology.
Your Honor,
Yes, any objection to that?
I had no objection in the preliminary examination. I also have received her curriculum vitae, and I have no objection for the trial purposes to qualify the doctor as an expert.
Okay, Ms. Lawson?
No objection, Your Honor, thank
All
you.
right, the witness will be deemed as an expert in the field of forensic pathology.
Okay, looking at exhibit number 4A, is that a standard placard that you would give any autopsy that you're going forward with, so that whatever is logged in as far as photographs could then be referenced to that number?
That is correct. So the top number is the case number that was assigned, and the bottom number is the date that I did the autopsy.
And when you get a body in to begin an autopsy, do they usually come in if they're closed from a scene where they're already dead versus unclothed?
They can come in either way. It depends if they're on the scene and they have clothes, they will come in with clothes. If they make it to the hospital and the hospital does any measures, usually they do not have clothes.
Okay, and in Mr. Murray's case, did he come in dressed or
Yes, he did.
undressed?
Yes,
Dressed.
dressed.
Okay, I'm going to show you what's been marked as Exhibit 4B. Do you recognize Mr. Murray?
Yes, this is how I saw him when I entered the room.
And when he entered the room, you'll notice that his hands are bagged.
His hands have bags, yes.
Okay, and are there any bindings that you notice on Mr. Murray's body?
Underneath the bags, yes.
Okay, and what did you notice underneath the bags?
Underneath the bags, his hands are bound by duct tape and a couple of zip ties, as well as you can see the binding around the mouth and the head, and his feet were also bound by duct tape.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as People's Exhibit number 4C. You recognize that photograph as a different angle of the bindings around his hand?
Yes,
And that also depicts the black duct tape that you had discussed and zip ties around that wrist?
yes.
Were those eventually removed?
Yes, we did remove them.
Were those bindings tight to the body of Mr. Murray, or did they just come off easily?
They were tight.
I'll show you what's been marked as People's Exhibit number 4D. Do you recognize that as another angle of those bindings?
Yes, I do.
And do you notice the condition of those bindings in regards to the Rolex watch?
Yes, the watch is in between the bindings. The bindings are tight on there.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as Exhibit 4E. Do you recognize that as a side photograph of Mr. Murray's right side?
Yes, it is his right side.
Okay. And that there is a gun holster on his right side?
That is correct.
Okay. And it came in without a gun, is that correct?
That is correct.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as Exhibit 4F. Do you recognize that as a photograph of the lower legs of Mr. Murray?
Yes, I do.
And were they also bagged as were his hands by the sheriff's office?
That is correct,
And is
yes.
that common procedure when you receive bodies in?
Yes,
I'm going to show you what's been marked as 4G. Do you recognize that as a photograph of Mr. Murray's lower ankles after the bag is removed?
yes, I do.
And can you tell us what you see in that photograph?
There was duct tape around the feet.
Okay. And there's a shoe on one foot?
One shoe on one foot.
And which foot is missing the shoe for the record?
The left foot.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as 4H. Do you recognize that photograph?
Yes, I do.
And can you tell us what you see in that photograph?
In this photograph, he has been, we've taken the clothes off and we've cleaned him off so I can properly see the injuries to his face and body.
Okay. And what observations do you have of any injuries that may catch your attention of Mr. Murray's face?
In this photograph, you can see that there's purple blotching around the eyes, which is bruising. On the face, he has a bunch of bruising all the way from the forehead all the way down to the front of the neck to basically the collarbones. And he has some lacerations, which are tears in the skin, again around the jaw. That's what he has. And then the jaw is also fractured. You can't really see it, though, in this picture.
Okay. I'll get into your internal investigation as we go forward. But for 4I, People's Exhibit 4I, can you tell us what you see in Exhibit 4I?
Yes, this is his lower lip as we've pulled down to take a photograph because there's some tears kind of on the left side of the lip and bruising on the inside.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as 4J. Do you recognize that as Mr. Murray's right hand?
Yes,
And can you tell us what you see in that photograph?
it's just his hand.
There's no cuts to his hand.
There are no cuts, no injuries.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as 4K. Is that another angle with the fingertips of Mr. Murray's right hand?
Yes, it is.
And again, do you see any injuries or cuts to his right hand?
No.
I'll show you what's been marked as 4L. Do you recognize that as Mr. Murray's left hand?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Again, do you notice any type of injury, bruising, or cuts to his right hand?
No.
I'll show you what's been marked as 4M. This is again a different angle with the fingertips of Mr. Murray's left hand. Do you see any type of cuts or bruising to his left hand?
No injuries.
I'm going to show you what's been marked 4N as in Nancy. Do you recognize that photograph?
Yes, I do.
And can you tell us what, if anything, is of interest when you're looking at photograph 4N?
Yes, so this is the back of him. We rolled him over to take pictures of the back. You can see on the scalp, kind of up toward the top of the picture, there is a laceration or a tear in his scalp there.
And can you tell us what type of force does it take, or what type of object does it take to create that type of injury?
Lacerations, bruises, and abrasions like a tearing, superficial tearing of the skin, are all caused by blunt force trauma. Anything blunt can cause these injuries, or like from a fall, as long as it's not like a knife, let's say.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as 4O. Is that a close-up of what was in 4N?
Yes, it is.
And can you tell us what we're seeing in 4O?
So it's a close-up, as you said, of the scalp, kind of like the left right here, and he has the tear in the scalp right there.
Was there a second injury to his scalp?
Scalp, yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as 4P. Is that depicting the second injury to his scalp?
Yes, so this is a close-up. It's on the back of his scalp, about here, another tear.
Okay, and is that something that can be caused by blunt force trauma?
Yes, it is caused by that.
And any type of blunt object can be able to cause something like that with enough force, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
When you started your physical observations of Mr. Murray, was he consistent with an individual to be 72 years old?
Yes.
Did you determine his weight?
Yes, I did.
And what was Mr. Murray's weight at the time of his passing?
295 pounds.
And how tall was he?
He was 72 inches or 6 feet tall.
Now, you noticed the zip ties around his hand and wrist, is that correct?
Yes.
You photographed that, and you photographed the evidence of his injury, correct?
Yes.
Now, you started to discuss something about the internal injuries that you later noticed to Mr. Murray's jaw. Can you tell us what, if anything, you noticed regarding the internal injuries to Mr. Murray's jaw?
Yes, so inside, it actually could even see it in one of the pictures where the lip was down. His jaw, this bone here, was fractured.
Okay.
And then there was a lot of bleeding and bruising just on the skin and underneath the skin.
I hear the terminology. Over time, I get used to it, but a lot of folks aren't used to it. So we've talked about lacerations, we talked about bruising, but what do you mean when you say fracture?
Fracture's broken bone.
Okay. And there's different types of fractures?
There are different types, yes.
Okay. How would you describe this type of fracture?
I would say comminuted, meaning broken into multiple pieces.
And does it take substantial force to create that type of injury?
Yes.
Did you notice injury to the left side of his scalp?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And how did you designate and describe that injury?
He had a laceration or a tear there on the left side. Once we open the head and reflect the skin back, he has hemorrhage underneath the scalp.
And when you
And-
say, go ahead.
Oh, and there are 2 muscles here that help you chew. He had hemorrhage in those muscles.
Okay. We're going to slowly go through the definitions, but when you say hemorrhage, what does that mean?
I'm sorry, bleeding into the tissue.
And does it take substantial force to get bleeding underneath the scalp so that you could see it in the way that you did?
Yes, and it's a blunt force.
Did you notice any type of injury to his face?
Yes.
What injuries did you notice to his face?
His face has bruising, some tears in there.
Okay. Is it in one location or is it in multiple locations?
It's multiple locations. Basically, the whole entire face
Had bruises to
has
it.
bruises and tears.
When you started to continue your autopsy, did you notice anything that stuck out about his throat area?
Yes, I did.
Could you tell us what you noticed regarding Mr. Murray's throat area?
On his throat, it looked the same as the face. It has, from the anterior neck here, which is the front of the neck, it had diffuse bruising and some kind of linear, no patterned, nothing like a pattern that I noticed, just some linear bruises.
Okay. And what did you notice when you got to look at his throat area internally?
Internally, we lift up the skin. He had soft tissue, which is bleeding into the fats and then the muscles in the neck that control the head. All of that was had blood soaked, and then he had a fracture of a bone in the throat called the hyoid bone.
Okay.
2 fractures.
Again,
broken hyoid bone.
the location of that bone, because we're not going to know by definition and description. Can you point to your actual throat to show us where that would be on a person?
Sure. The hyoid bone is a U-shaped bone, and it sits high up in the neck. If you feel when you swallow, your Adam's apple, that's called the thyroid cartilage. It sits just in front of that. That's high up in the neck and relatively well protected.
And what did you notice about that bone?
It was broken in 2 places.
Okay. In your experience in doing autopsies and going through school, is that a rare injury that you've seen?
It's rare.
Okay. And does that take a lot of force to accomplish that type of injury?
It does.
Can you tell us what type of other evidence of injuries you saw to the neck?
The fracture of the bone and just bleeding into the tissues.
Okay. And did you make any determination of how that could occur? How would that type of injury occur?
Neck compression.
Okay. Now, neck compression literally means compressing of the neck. Is that
Yes.
part of the definition I'm okay
That's
on?
literally, yes.
Okay.
literally.
Now, hypothetically, would somebody with a lot of force using their hands be able to create that type of neck compression?
Yes.
Would an individual using a knee on the throat be able to create that type of neck compression?
Yes.
Would an individual using a shoe or boot on the throat be able to do that type of neck compression?
Yes.
How long would it take for continued compression of the neck to result in death?
So the answer to that question is a little complex. If somebody is unable to defend themselves, let's say they're unconscious or they can't move for some reason and pressure is applied to the neck, it's only going to take a matter of minutes, 5 minutes, less than 10 minutes, opposed to somebody who's able to fight back. It might take a little longer. How long, I don't know.
And were you able to determine if Mr. Murray was still alive when this was going on?
Yes.
And how were you able to determine that?
So the cause of death I've listed here is neck compression, but there's also a mechanism of death. Just because you break a hyoid bone doesn't mean you die from that. What he actually died from was asphyxia. This is the mechanism of death. Asphyxia, in the lightest terms, you compress the neck and the jugular veins and carotid arteries, which bring blood to the head and from the head, are compressed. This is where the asphyxia occurs. It takes only about 11 pounds of pressure to do that, which is basically the weight of your head. The reason I know it's neck compression is because the hyoid bone is fractured.
Okay. Did you determine a cause of death?
Yes,
And can you tell us what the cause of death was in Mr. Murray's passing?
neck compression. And I contributed blunt force head and neck trauma too.
And did you determine a manner of death?
Yes.
And what was your determination of manner of death?
Homicide.
Okay. The injuries that you observed and the multiple injuries, was there anything about those injuries that indicated it could only have been caused by a single individual acting alone?
No.
Was there anything about the multitude of injuries that you observed that excluded multiple participants in the causing of that death?
No.
Was there any type, talk about those neck compressions that we talked about. If I was, let's say, a 130-pound male, and I was trying to cause that neck compression, could a 130-pound male cause those neck compressions?
Yes.
I don't have any other questions, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Cross-exam Zuazo.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Come on up. For a break. The break is going to require you to stay in your jury room. We'll bring you back as soon as we can. All right. Please be seated. And so now we're cross-exam Zuazo.
Thank you very much. Dr. Bryant, my name is Michael McCarthy. I know I met you back on the 17th of December when you gave your preliminary examination testimony in this case. I have questions to ask you. I'll tell you the same thing I told you that day. I have some questions to ask you this morning regarding your testimony. And if I don't make myself clear, please tell me that, and I'll rephrase the question. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Now, the manner of death is neck compression. That's the main thing that led to the death of Mr. Murray, correct?
Yes, the cause of death.
The cause of death. And while he sustained some tears in his scalp that are documented through the photographs that we've just looked at, those by themselves would not be the cause of death, correct?
No, the tears in the scalp would not be a cause of death.
It was the asphyxiation that actually caused his death, correct?
Yes, asphyxiation by neck compression and by the blunt force trauma sustained to the head and neck. Why? Because when you have blunt force trauma and he's breaking his jaw and it's bleeding into his nose and mouth, he's inhaling while he's still conscious, inhaling blood. If you're inhaling anything but air, you can't breathe. So that's part of the asphyxiation and why that's contributing.
And the way that you were able to make that determination is by examining Mr. Murray's lungs, correct?
That's correct.
And you found inside those lungs something that should not have been there, as well as all these other injuries, but blood in his lungs.
That's correct, under the microscope.
And that is the thing that led to the asphyxiation that ultimately caused his death.
Yes, that's correct.
Now, this hyoid bone, you've given a description of where it is, just at the top of your neck before you get up into your jaw area. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
And you also talked about a fractured jaw. Those are two separate injuries, correct?
This is correct.
And now we have a jaw that, well, it's on both sides of our face, obviously. Was Mr. Murray's jaw fracture on one side or the other, or was it in the middle?
It was on one side, I believe the right side, and I don't recall the other. It was multiple places. Not in the middle, though, but on the sides.
Okay. So the jaw fracture is separate from the hyoid bone fracture, which was multiple, correct?
This is correct.
And
Yes.
the jawbone was also multiple, correct?
Yes.
You said it took substantial force to create that injury, and also sustained compression in order to fracture the hyoid bone, correct?
Yes.
Now, because the jaw and the hyoid bone are in close proximity on the body to one another, would the same actions lead to both of those injuries, those fractures to the jaw as well as the fractures to the hyoid bone?
So the jaw is more from a blunt force trauma, any kind of hitting with an object or kicking or punching. The hyoid bone being fractured is the neck compression, more specifically.
Can you tell, after you conducted the autopsy or while you're conducting the autopsy, which of those injuries was sustained first?
No.
You can just look at the body, or all you're able to do is look at the body and note the injuries, correct?
This is correct.
All right. But you also said that as to the compression, the neck compression, it was over a sustained period of time, correct?
This is correct.
Now, on direct examination, Mr. Petrofessa asked you a question regarding whether a person of 130 pounds would be able to put that kind of pressure, that sustained pressure on the neck and cause the fracture of the hyoid bone. Remember that question?
Yes, I do.
And you said that's a possibility,
Yes.
correct? And that's all dependent upon somebody being unable to defend themselves, correct?
Unable or not, somebody could do that. It just would take a longer time if somebody was able to defend themselves and, push somebody off of their neck. Because really you're compressing the blood vessels there and you're asphyxiating.
Yes. And
So that's why the time has to be sustained for the brain to just go anoxic, meaning oxygen is not being delivered, and for you to die.
So a person who's got their hands bound is going to have a hard time, and their feet have a hard time fighting that off, correct? That
Yes, they
sustained
might.
compression.
Yes.
Now, would a person, I asked you this question at the preliminary examination, and I asked then, I formed the question in such a way, I asked if a person in excess of 300 pounds would be capable of providing the amount of sustained pressure, the compression, that led to the fracture of the hyoid bone, the two fractures that Mr. Murray sustained.
Yes.
Now, having more information, I'm going to ask you a similar but somewhat different question. Would a person, a man, weighing 450 pounds be capable of exerting the type of sustained pressure that is caused by that led to the death of Mr. Murray because of the fracture to his hyoid bone?
What you're saying, if somebody that weight can sustain
That
the
weight.
injury? Yes.
And 450 pounds is a substantial amount of weight, correct?
Yes.
And a person of that size could put that amount of pressure, or the required amount of pressure, to fracture the hyoid bone, correct?
Yes, this is correct.
Now, I know you said that a person that's 130 pounds could do the same thing, correct?
Yes.
All right,
Okay.
but you don't have any evidence about a person being 130 pounds doing that, correct?
No, I would not know who did it, what they
Sure.
look like, or what they weighed.
And when a person sustains that type of injury, I know you said there was internal bleeding, but I noted from the autopsy photographs that Mr. Murray, unfortunately and tragically, had quite a bit of external bleeding around the head, correct?
Yes, he did.
And that blood flowing, coming from his body when he was alive, correct?
Yes.
Rather than being dead, correct?
Yes.
Because when, and I know you understand this, and I just want to make certain that the jury understands it, when a person dies and their heart stops beating, then blood does not emanate freely or flow from the body, correct?
Yes, this is correct.
It's
Maybe
more-
maybe it will, but just a little bit, not as much as he had.
Because what it is then, when a person is deceased and their heart has stopped, it's gravity that leads to the blood coming out of the body, more so than the pump that is
Well,
your
no,
heart.
not gravity. It actually is the pump. If the heart is no longer pumping, then blood's just going to cease to flow and it'll stop where it is.
That's what I'm saying, it's gonna stop. But
Yes.
the fact of the matter is, you know from your study of Mr. Murray, your examination of Mr. Murray's body, that this went on for as long as 10 minutes while he was alive, and the cause of his death, the blood in his lungs, accumulated while that tremendous compression was being placed on his neck, correct?
Yes, correct. Although I
And-
don't know how much time it
Okay.
took.
So would you agree that if a person is immobilized, as it's evident Mr. Murray was at the time of his death, and this person is, the pressure is being exerted by a person weighing 450 pounds, it might not take the entire 10 minutes, correct? On
It might.
hyoid bone?
It might not if he's completely unable to fight back.
The timing, well, you said it looks, and you don't have any evidence based on what it was that you were able to observe of the body with the bagged feet and the bagged hands, how Mr. Murray's body was delivered to your autopsy room, that he did any fighting back, correct?
I would not know that, no.
Right. And it doesn't look evident that he did, given those circumstances, right?
If he were tied up and then sustained injuries, he probably would have a harder time fighting back, yes.
And one of the things that you documented in the photographs that we looked at was his hands, both his right and his left hand, correct?
That's correct.
And you didn't note any injuries to those?
No injuries.
Okay. So that means nobody's in a fist fight, or he wasn't in a fist fight.
Correct.
I mean, it doesn't look that way
Doesn't
in
appear
terms
that.
of what you're able to observe during the autopsy, correct?
That's correct.
So then, this 10 minutes that you talked about, is that, I mean, obviously you weren't there, so you don't know as an eyewitness, but 10 minutes is an approximation. It could have been a shorter period of time?
It could have been shorter, it could have been longer.
Okay. Is there, I know you measured or I don't know that, maybe tell the jury, did you measure the amount of blood that was in each of Mr. Murray's lungs?
No, I did not. And the reason is I can't quantify it. It's kind of like you get like a soaked rag of blood and you're trying to squeeze and measure. So it's not something that I can quantify.
Okay.
I just know it's there.
You know that it's
'Cause I
there.
can see it.
And would you consider what you were able to see and know for a fact was indeed blood in each lung? Was it a minimal amount? Was it a medium amount? Was it a substantial amount? What measurement would you use just because of the way you, based on your experience as an expert, you were able to observe?
It was a moderate amount, and this is the reason it contributes, moderate to severe. If it was minimal, I probably wouldn't contribute it, but it's more than that.
And because it's more than that, that is the reason why your cause of death, or what you have said is Mr. Murray's cause of death, but your conclusion is this neck compression leading to asphyxiation.
Yes.
And the asphyxiation is caused by the blood in the lungs.
The asphyxiation is caused by the compression of the vessels in the neck, one, and number two, the blood in the lung.
Two causes.
Yes, it's a contributor. The blood in the lung is a contributing cause.
Okay, the real cause
And then
is
the
that
main cause is
sustained
the neck.
pressure on the neck.
This is correct.
And whether it's 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 12 minutes, that's the cause of death, no matter how long it took, correct?
This is correct.
And the bigger the force, the faster it would have gone.
Likely it could have. Yes.
A 450-pound person could accomplish that end a lot more quickly than a hypothetical 130-pound person, correct?
Maybe, if they were able.
Okay, thank you. I have nothing further.
Will you do redirect?
Yes, Jim.
Okay, go ahead.
Just a few questions on that. You didn't go to the scene, correct?
I did not.
Okay, and if the scene had shown a lot of blood at the scene, you would agree from what you just testified, that means that the heart is still pumping to put that amount of blood out there. Is that correct?
Yes, this is correct.
The blood isn't flowing at the scene until his heart stops. Would you agree with that?
It is not flowing, or?
It wouldn't continue to flow
This is
until he
correct.
passes, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, there was some testimony earlier that you said he was conscious during this period because you have the blood inside his lungs, right?
Right.
And Mr. McCarthy asked about him being immobile, I think, at some point in his cross-examination. Immobile has a lot of different terms, and it can be vague for definition. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. If I'm bound with my hands and zip-tied, that doesn't mean I'm immobile at that point, does it?
No.
Okay, I can still struggle with my hands like this.
Sure.
Okay, I can still fight back with my hands like this.
Yes.
Okay, the pressure on the neck, is that pressure on the neck from a frontal pressure? Could it be from a side pressure? Could it be from a rear pressure?
It's not from the rear because the bone is in the front, so it could be in the front or the side.
Okay, so if a person is conscious and they're struggling, there would have to be some other way to keep that head from flailing while that pressure is being placed on the throat. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
And there's nothing that you've testified to that couldn't be caused by a 200-pound man. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And the amount of time and pressure on that throat, if you start that pressure and you're choking and you're struggling and you're fighting, but you break loose of it for 10 seconds, for 30 seconds as you're struggling for your life, could that reset the clock of how long it's going to take?
Well, yes.
Okay, if a person is conscious and they're just not lying there letting you do this, that time period could change depending on how much of a fight is going on.
Yes, that's right.
I don't have any other questions.
Did you want to follow up?
Just on the fight going on, Doctor, you don't have any evidence about a fight going on. You can't see that from what you observed in the autopsy, correct?
Correct. I just know injuries on Mr. Murray.
Thank you.
That's
I have
what I
nothing for you.
Anything, any follow-up on
No,
that?
Judge.
Okay. Come on up. Give you a break, so you're gonna go back to your jury room. The break is gonna require that you stay in your jury room.
All right, to the jury, please.
All right, we'll take that moment for discussion. Everybody please be seated. Please be seated.
Good morning.
Suzanne Hernandez.
Thank you. All right, so I want to go over a couple of things that I noted in your report. So under evidence of injuries, which is on page 3 of a report, you have a section that you labeled blunt force injuries. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And blunt force, as we talked about a little bit previously, but I'd like to make sure the jury understands, blunt force means that the person that you're examining was hit with something, correct?
Something blunt, yes.
Okay. Which could be a fist, could be an object, correct?
This is correct.
All right. And blunt force trauma, would you agree with me? It's not as definite as, let's say, a gunshot, where you're able to determine that a bullet hit someone because there's an entrance and an exit wound. Blunt force, you can't really say what the force was, you just know that it was blunt, correct?
This is correct.
Now, unless there is evidence of like a bite wound or a ligature mark or an imprint of a boot, again, you're not able to determine exactly what the cause of the injury was, correct?
That's correct.
Blunt force can even be when someone falls and hits the floor, correct?
Yes, of course.
So it is possible that some of the injuries that Mr. Murray sustained were caused by him falling, correct?
It's possible, yes.
Now, I believe you testified that none of the injuries to the head, the lacerations that we saw, are immediately life-ending, correct?
Not by themselves,
Correct.
immediately.
All right, so let's now move to the neck. You listed, obviously, neck compression as the primary cause of death, correct?
Yes,
Okay. Now, a fractured or broken hyoid bone does not mean, in itself, does not mean immediate death, correct?
this is correct.
Now, you previously testified that to fracture or to break this bone, it would have been direct pressure, specifically to the neck, correct?
Yes,
Again, that could be an object being pressed to the neck, correct?
yes, it could be.
Could be hands, could be a knee. You're not able to tell us.
That's right.
Now, is it fair to say that it's not actually the amount of force, it's actually the location of force that's most important for any type of injury to that area?
To the neck, you mean?
Yes.
Not the amount, but, sorry, say that again.
So it's not necessarily the amount of pressure, it's actually where you're pressing,
It's,
or a combination of both.
well, it's a combination of both.
And as you described the hyoid bone, you said it's pretty high up in the neck, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And here we saw that jaw or the mandible was fractured, and that is pretty close to the hyoid bone, correct?
That's correct.
Here you did not observe any type of ligature marks, like as if something like a rope or something had been tied around the neck, correct?
That's correct.
You did not notice any finger marks either, correct?
That's correct.
Now I want to spend a little bit of time going over the rest of your report. You spent a good amount of time on the cardiovascular system, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. And you noted that he had 3 bypass grafts in his main coronary arteries, correct?
yes, I did.
You also noted that he had heart disease, correct?
Yes, he did.
You also noted he had aortic arteriosclerosis severe.
Yes,
Okay. And the aorta is responsible for carrying the oxygenated blood from the heart to the rest of the body, correct?
yes, it is.
You also noted in that same section that he had an enlarged heart, correct?
Yes,
Would you agree with me that someone with severe heart disease has a greater chance of dying during loss of blood compared to someone with a healthy heart?
just in general or in this case?
In general.
In general, yes.
Now, you testified that when someone's heart actually stops, the blood would stop coming out of the body. Is that correct?
Yes, or very minimally it would come out.
Okay. And I think you testified that you had not actually seen photos of the scene. You just see the person that is brought to you. Is that correct?
I did not go to the scene, but I did see photos.
You did see photos. And from those photos, you were able to determine that there was quite a bit of blood surrounding Mr. Murray, correct?
Yes, I do recall that.
Okay. So taking that with the evidence of finding blood in Mr. Murray's lungs, it was your determination that he was alive for a period of time, correct?
Yes,
After sustaining the injuries, I should say.
yes.
You also testified that the injuries to the neck, which ultimately led to Mr. Murray's death, when Mr. Petrofessa asked you, could have been done by a 150-pound man, correct?
Yes, they could have.
If we were just looking at the binding with the duct tape, the binding on the wrists and the feet and the mouth, that would have not caused death without any other injuries, correct?
Correct.
I have nothing further.
Redirect.
Just briefly. We're in agreement that Mr. Murray didn't die of a heart attack, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and we're also in agreement that he was conscious during this attack up
Yeah.
until his heart stopped?
up until he asphyxiated, or lack of oxygen to the brain. Yes.
And there was a lot of blood at the scene?
Yes, as I recall.
And you've already noted that Mr. Murray was almost 300 pounds,
Yes.
and he was 6 foot tall.
Yes, he was.
If Mr. Murray, when he was bound, wasn't just laying with his hands down at his side, not fighting back, then somebody would have direct access to that throat area, correct?
Yes.
But if he's fighting, if he's struggling, at that point in time it would be very difficult because you're also dealing with the person that's struggling and fighting as you're doing that. Is that correct?
Yes, it would make it more difficult.
And once a neck compression starts to that throat, if somebody was to break that pressure as it was going on, even for 20, 30 seconds as they're struggling around, would that reset the clock of how you have to start again to inflict that injury to stop?
Yes, it would.
No other questions, Judge?
You want to follow up? No. Okay, all right, come on up, lawyers, please. Take a break, so I will see you back momentarily. All right. Brian, we're going to ask that you just hang out here for a few more minutes until both jurors are brought in, and then I'll ask the lawyers whether or not they have any questions, and then we'll excuse you. Okay, right, thank you.
Sure.
You may be seated.
The jury, please.
Please be seated. Any other questions for Dr. Bryan?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Dr. Bryan, you may step down. In no objection excusing Dr. Bryan?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, you are excused. Thank you for your patience. People, next witness.
You call Ted Conley.